twice, and that was it.
So she said.
All right.
For both those things.
Oh my gosh. We're live with episode number 120. This is the first post-election episode we've done. Just full disclosure, I have no idea where this episode is going to go. We are planning to keep it on track. Last episode, we promised that we would do a solar episode. This is, as I mentioned right before we started recording, before the possible end of the Earth took place, or the pre-end of the Earth.
The prend, we call it.
Yeah. That means we don't have any follow-up because none of us were interested in... I don't think any actual tech news happened this week. I don't think...
Not really.
Anything that wasn't political happened.
I was going to say, it's as if there was this other huge story that someone was covering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or,
and
the world in general was covering.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to sort through conspiracy theories and trying to figure out if there's anything that's real that's happening. It seems like, based on the last week, nothing is real anymore. I did want to say there's a story in here that I've had in here for a couple months that I want to talk about for a couple minutes as kind of follow up, and then we can have our solar episode that Nick has literally 2 stories for.
And the Elon Musk one.
Oh, I know but that was mine.
I forgot.
Yeah,
actually, how my one story worked, and I was like, they're not both solar, and then it turns out they both are. Good call. Good call, Rob.
Yeah, so there's a story we've had in here for a while, which is the fact that Facebook Messenger, the Facebook chat app, a couple months ago, I don't even know when the story's from, I guess the 10th month, so it was probably early November or early October. They added the ability to send encrypted one-on-one chats through Facebook Messenger, and I just thought in the era where, personal internet security is going to be at a paramount potentially, it would be a good kind of thing to note that you can do this. I actually started a couple conversations. I thought this was actually previous to this election. I thought that it would just be interesting to talk about this because I didn't like how the Facebook Messenger, like the encrypted conversations, could only be done from one device to one other device. So like it wasn't cross device. You couldn't get those messages on your desktop. They would just go from, say, if you set it up on your phone, it would go to someone else's phone and then go back to that same phone. Like it's one device to one device,
Rob,
similar to the way Snapchat works.
Rob, I'm sorry to have to do this to you.
Yeah.
I just need to make sure what microphone I'm using right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Were you using the right one?
I was.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, if you go into Facebook Messenger, go to the Me tab, and go to near the bottom. You should have, and if you don't, you might need to update your app or something. But as far as I know, they turn this on for everyone. There's a tab or an item called Secret Conversations, where you can turn Secret Conversations on. At that point, you can go and start a new message, and you'll see the option to turn to next to cancel, like across from cancel, you'll see a option to turn secret conversation on. You can pick someone to send a secret message to, and it will send an encrypted message only to that one person. And from what I have read and from what I've heard, this will be fully encrypted in the sense that normally Facebook can read your chats if they need to, and they are subject to government requests should that happen. But fully encrypted chats are, as far as I know, not done that way. They are solely on device. They're encrypted through the air. I believe that WhatsApp also has this. And so anyways, I just got a really weird message, and I guess this wasn't an encrypted message though, Mike. This is fully searchable. Mike just sent me the message, Bush did 9/11. I don't think that was an encrypted message.
It was encrypted on my end, so
okay. Yeah, I just
how does that work if both people aren't set up to do encrypted?
I believe you just have to turn encrypted messages on, and then you would get it. Although it might say, I haven't actually. Oh, you know what happened? I think it just went into the ether if no one had it set up, because I sent one to Julia and she didn't get it. Okay. And then I asked her to turn it on, and then I sent her another one.
Okay.
And then it worked. So I think they just kind of disappear.
Okay. So then it was encrypted then. We're okay.
Yeah.
But now you've told the world what the message was, so you've still implicated me.
I don't think it's... I don't think it's a secret conversation. I just got it normal. I just got it in our
What?
existing chat.
I turned it on though. I said send encrypted messages or send secret messages from this device.
No, but you have to. So when you start, you have to start a new message thread as secret.
Damn
So
it!
click.
Should be expecting a raid now.
It's good that we're learning this now. So yeah, when you go to start a new message, you'll see the option to start a secret thread, but it's totally different.
Okay.
It comes up as a black, like there's a black logo instead of a blue messenger logo.
So you have to delete your existing thread because
No, you don't have to delete it. It's totally a separate thread.
But I said I did plus and then write message, and then that's the only option. Oh, then there's a little lockup at the top.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
So feel free to send me encrypted messages that are full of probable conspiracy theories.
This is thrilling listening, I gotta say.
Well, I can cut this out if it ends up being boring, but I think it's a useful piece of information. I wanted to say WhatsApp also did. I don't know if all the messages are secret or encrypted now, but I think you can turn that on by default, or you can turn it on to the default. I just think it's an important thing to note that people, like security experts on Twitter that I've been watching since Tuesday, have been talking about turning on two-factor authentication wherever you can, turning on encrypted messages wherever you can, getting things like Tor, things like VPNs, just wanting to protect yourself in advance in case anything crazy happens. I don't necessarily want to go Godwin's Law on this episode, but I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't at least say, I've been reading, people have been posting things about the history of Germany in the 1930s, and apparently things happened really quickly once he started to take power. And so I just wanted to, just in case something like that happens, I want people to, in the age of the internet, we have ways of protecting ourselves more. And I think that people should at least be aware of those options before anything starts happening.
I don't think we've Godwined the show yet. I think you.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
I
you
made this
avoided it.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's going to be, I'm going to consider that my follow-up. If you guys have no other follow-up, then we can talk. Nick, why don't you tell us about farming in the desert?
Farming in the desert?
Farming the dessert?
Mike is just trolling his episode now.
Yes. Because you can only be in one desert at once, but you can always have two helpings of dessert.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you remember the number of S's.
That's actually a pretty good trick. I just remember that desert's the one without two S's. I'm being completely honest here. I'm not just.
That's a really good trick.
That's beautiful. So, hover zoom. Cookies. Yes, give me the cookies. I'm fine with it. Just let me read the gosh darn flipping article.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a farm in Australia in the desert, and they're using seawater to irrigate things. It's really great.
Via desalination? Salination?
Yeah, is it desalination or
Desalination.
I've got desalination here.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Seawater is piped 5.5 kilometers from the Spencer Gulf to Sundrop Farms, the 20-hectare site in the arid Port Augusta region. The solar-powered desalination plant removes the salt, creating enough fresh water to irrigate 180,000 tomato plants inside the greenhouse.
You know what I really like, just before we talk about the story, is how Nick has become such a good reader of articles.
He's got that narrator's voice.
He does.
Yeah.
I've always had the narrator's voice.
So it looks like they're also using, or is the solar power just a separate thing, or is that how they desalinate?
I think it's active solar power, not passive solar power.
Okay.
So far as I know.
So it is for desalination.
Yes.
Okay. As in, like, heat it up to evaporate and then recollect the evaporated water? Is that the desalination process?
Yes.
It's also a distillation process.
Mm-hmm. But I think mostly
says how it actually does that.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of
Oh, the plants
talk.
also grow in coconut husks, so that's a thing.
I heard a lot of desalination talk with California and their recent droughts, and
Yeah.
saying that that could be an option for them, but they have other hurdles. I think I don't know if it's financial. Like I think the cost investment is pretty high for desalination, and it requires a lot of maintenance. I think so. They're not pulling the trigger on that. I don't think
Right.
quite yet.
This whole thing is taking place inside a greenhouse?
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't
So-
it neat?
They're basically terraforming Australia. Is that kind of what they're doing? Like
Well,
on a
Port
small
Augusta.
scale? Sorry?
Port Augusta, they're terraforming
Yeah.
very slowly.
Huh.
Although there was an actual terraforming article that I came across that was kind of neat.
But you don't know where that is.
I'm gonna Google a couple keywords and see what happens.
Good luck, Google.
Oh, might be it.
The hypocrite of Nick.
What hypocrite?
You said like 3 minutes ago this is thrilling radio, and then you started Googling an
Yeah, well,
article.
talk amongst yourselves, guys. I can't just throw the podcast on my back and carry you all the time.
Oh, I agree.
So I'm reading through this article here, and I'm having a hard time getting like the takeaway from it. Like, is the idea that this is a unique way to grow tomatoes? Like
Well,
it says conventional greenhouses are more expensive to run on an annual basis because of the cost of fossil fuels. So
Mhm.
I don't know, but where does the desalination part? Is that just the irrigation? Like, would you have to do that anyway with conventional greenhouses? Like, I'm at
you
a
would
loss
still have
to.
to irrigate. I think. Well, it seems to me like there's a couple things that are pretty not necessarily unique, but pretty rare in this particular setup.
Okay, so there's a paragraph here. This is the farm's solar power is generated by 23,000 mirrors that reflect sunlight towards a 127 meter high receiver tower.
Yeah.
On a sunny day, up to 39 megawatts of energy can be produced, enough to power the desalination plant and supply the greenhouse's electricity needs.
Mhm.
So it's not the heat from the sun that's desalinating. It's the energy generated by the solar that's desalinating.
Right.
So my original thought of, well, it's evaporating water using the sun's rays. That's not accurate. Like that might, I don't know. That might be how they're generating energy, but that's not how they're desalinating.
It seems kind of ambiguous, because you can figure out how many megawatts of energy get produced by a certain amount of like light hitting mirrors and then hitting a receiver tower. But there are two kinds of ways. You can either use that light that you've concentrated to generate electricity, or you can use it to actually boil water.
Oh, right, for sure. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the energy is.
It does seem like it's indirect.
process. Yeah. If this article is to be believed. So
it's not really clear. They say that there's the cost of fossil fuels involved somehow. I'm not sure exactly where that comes into play. It doesn't seem like there's anything obviously fossil fuel based in a traditional greenhouse that would be replaced in this one. But
well,
I
like
don't
natural gas electricity generation, that'd be, or coal.
So for desalinating, you mean?
Just for anything. But yeah, the desalinating requires energy, and you'd be getting that energy from fossil fuels if you weren't using solar or hydro, I guess. But
yeah, I guess it just depends what the difference is between what they're saying. It's expensive. It's more expensive the conventional way, but they don't say what part of the process is more expensive, because yes, you'd have to use fossil fuels to desalinate. So are they saying it's more expensive compared to other plants where they have to pipe in seawater and then desalinate it? Like it's hard to figure out what exactly they're referring to as unique when they say it's more expensive to do it the other way.
So I haven't really been listening to you because I've been looking. But
Of course.
there is the obvious criticism that why would you do this when you can just grow tomatoes in the ground in other parts of Australia?
Yeah.
But I think it's a neat proof of concept, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I found the thing. Link in the chat.
Does this have any links out to the actual? It's just a picture.
Rob, it's Reddit. There's never links.
No.
It's true. Although they like list all the citation, so
Where do they list all the citation?
In that image.
yeah, at the top of the image, astrobiological studies on extremophiles and its application for desertification control.
Yeah, you guys see the problem, right? If I
No.
want to search for this, I have to retype it all.
Oh
I have
no!
no issue. It's not like a laziness thing. It's just like this is not a helpful
I
reference.
mean, it's literally a laziness thing.
You can't even copy paste. It's like you have to type.
Yeah.
Like some animal. Like I'm pretty sure they could copy and paste in the Stone Age.
They
They
could.
just like chisel around the cave drawings and then move them.
And paste with tar.
Poor soul, Rob. You're so hard done by.
Thank you. Even the link, there is a link at the after the below the fold of the page, but it just links to like a PDF of a PowerPoint presentation about this kind of stuff.
Oh.
Your
It's very weird.
PDF of a PowerPoint
So-
presentation.
So
Anyways,
this solar farming thing, it does clarify, and it's similar to other solar projects where there's solar energy shortages in the winter, so you still have to be hooked up to the grid
okay.
with this one.
Oh man.
But at least it doesn't fully rely on quote unquote fossil fuels.
So what's the difference between this and other ones?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think just the scale of it, like it's a large project,
Yes.
like
And it's in the middle of the desert.
where you wouldn't otherwise grow tomatoes. I think
Right.
that's the point.
So for all those practicing the 100-mile diet, you can have tomatoes if you live in Port Augusta. I guess
Only
tomatoes
tomatoes.
Beef. So
Because nothing else will ever grow there. Except
yeah,
for
that's
they decide to grow.
unless you use cyanobacteria as per the link.
Yeah. The yeah, this is a very, at least it seems to jump all over the place, this presentation. Anyways, I can include that link if you wish, Nick, also.
Which one?
The Reddit one.
Cool.
Also, the story's from October 6th, so
It's
Nick-
pretty recent.
Nick
Oh
being
man.
Nick,
How old is he?
and it's not 8 years, but
Well, no, this one was. Wait, which one? The
the farming in the desert one.
Yeah.
farming in the desert.
I
Oh
think it's
man.
just been in the links for that
I was
long.
gonna say yeah. Like I've been trying to get on this for a while
That's
now.
true. You have actually. So it's probably only 2 weeks old when you post.
That's true. We have talked a lot about cell phones.
Yeah. Those are the best days.
Really
Are they? Are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're really optimistic that we'll still be able to grow tomatoes once climate change makes deserts. Huzzah!
So, Rob, do you want to tell us what Elon Musk's been up to the
Yeah,
last couple of
absolutely.
weeks?
Well, what he was up to
2
on
weeks
the 29th
ago.
of October.
Yeah.
The world was a different place then. California was getting sunlight. So Tesla, they've been on fire lately, and not in
Literally?
the Samsung
Like
way.
Samsung. Okay.
Not in the Samsung way.
Okay.
They have released, or they to do this announcement, they actually fitted 4 houses on this block in California with solar roof tiles. And so basically their aim in building these solar roof tiles is to make solar energy beautiful, so that to make it beautiful and to make these tiles stronger than actual regular shingles or roof tiles are, so that there is literally no reason not to get them. Because if it's cheaper to install and maintain and replace these tiles, and they give you electricity, then it just makes no sense not to do it that way. And so it wouldn't be needing to convince people that over the long term this will pay off. It would pay off immediately. What they did is actually really cool. I feel like I explained it. Maybe I explained it outside the show. Um, they set it up so that these tiles actually have differential transparency based on the angle of incidence of the light or where you're looking. And so if you look at them from straight on from above, they are transparent and you can see the fact that they're solar panels. But if you look at them from ground level, from an oblique angle like you would standing on the ground, then they just look like regular tiles. They're either like clay colored or gray or brown.
Hmm.
And I thought that was really neat because the incident light from the sun, the stuff that's going to be generating the electricity, is going to come from pretty much straight up. Whereas if you want it, if the goal is to have it not only kind of generate electricity for you, but look like a normal roof, you want it to just be regular roof colored from below. And you don't want to necessarily make it obvious that it's a solar roof. And that's what they managed to accomplish with that. It's the kind of thing that you don't really think about until you try to do it. And then you're like, oh, hey, that makes perfect sense. And so that's what they did. And they have a bunch of different styles. They have going from all the way from just kind of very regular roofs like you'd find in Canada, like just regular shingles, to actual kind of rounded clay roof tiles that kind of look like fingernails or fish scales, which is the style you'd see kind of in the Southern California area. And I thought this was awesome, not only because it works really well, like they're talking about their new power wall, which we've talked about in the past, and how it has a much higher energy density than it did before. So it's able to not only kind of give you a higher capacity, but it's also able to pack more power into that same size of battery. And so the pitch here is, once your Tesla's parked in the garage, you can charge your car, you can power your house, and you can actually power your house. Right, exactly. And so the goal with the new power wall is to set it up so that if there's clouds or whatever, that it can provide a typical, I think they say 4-bedroom house with enough power to last 24 hours if need be. So even if there's a cloudy day, that you wouldn't necessarily have to rely on the grid. I'm not sure exactly. It obviously depends on the weather in your area, whether you can actually make enough money to kind of pay for itself over the course of an entire year. But I think the goal is, once you're hooked into the grid, you can actually get electricity credits if you're putting more electricity in than you take out. And so that this could not only actually save you money compared to traditional shingling, compared to traditional energy use, but it could actually make you money and not look any different. Like you wouldn't look out of place. So I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely catered to a southern state like Arizona or California or Nevada.
It's most catered, yeah.
Yeah. Like I know in Canada scenario or Canadian scenarios, they've kind of, it's fairly unanimous that the benefit of solar isn't quite there yet to make the jump, if the motivation is, a large part financial.
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask.
Yes.
I know of a solar research group in University of Saskatchewan that would disagree.
How so?
Really?
Yes. Well, for Saskatchewan in particular.
Is their electricity distribution different enough that it actually makes sense to do that?
No, it's just a really sunny province.
But so is Calgary. Like, it's the sunniest city in Canada?
Yeah.
So I don't understand where you're going with this.
No, they think solar is a great solution to problems.
Oh,
or at least 50% of our problems.
Agree. I just financially, it doesn't really pay off in a fast enough amount of time to make it worth it.
No?
Are you saying that,
Like,
or is that what you've read?
That's what I've read based on the numbers that people run. Like, again, specific to Calgary and how NMAX.
Okay. And
Or
we're not
whoever
talking
else is
about
up.
we're not talking about Ontario with the microgrid benefit.
I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Which Rob and I have talked about many times on this show, and Mike's always been like, "What? Ontario?"
So for people who might not be aware, the reason that it's much less useful here, much less beneficial than it would be in in us like southern states or near the equator is that we have much less sunlight that reaches us and for a much shorter part of the year.
And a lower angle of incidence too.
Right. Yeah. So the angle of incidence thing can totally be fixed in that you just have to aim them
to a degree, but yeah.
The angle of incidence part can be fixed. The timing is obviously going to be different.
You're not going to angle your solar panels at like 45 degrees. Like you're still going to have them.
You could,
but you're not going to.
You could,
but you can also then you're getting less. Like you can't actually farm as much because you have to put the solar panels further apart to actually take full advantage of this. Oh my God. I wanted software playthrough for the longest time. And now there's my voice like a half second in the past. And it's just, I can't deal with this, guys.
Yeah. You have because they shadow each other, right? So you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can set this up in a way that it works, but it's not going to be as nice as it is in California where the sun comes in very, very high in the sky all the time.
Exactly.
In theory, if your house is built, like it obviously all depends on house. Like we're in a condo, so our benefit from it is very limited because we don't have much outside walls. But if you're a freestanding structure and there's nothing near you, you could actually set up siding that was like this. And it would be in a much better angle to accept that sunlight if the sunlight hits that. Like, there's no point in Canada of putting anything solar on the north side of a building, because it's never like the absolute most benefit you're ever going to get of anything is going to be like at noon in June, and that's literally it. But it doesn't mean that it's useless here. It just means that you would need to think much more about the angle of incidence you're going to put it in at, the amount you'd need to actually pay off, and possibly even kind of adjusting it. I know I've seen a lot of setups where you can collect a lot more light if you're actually doing like a sunflower and adjusting the kind of actual position of the panels throughout the day to pick up the most light. But again, that's not necessarily going to work for every situation. So it's a lot trickier in Canada. It's a lot trickier in any northern latitudes.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's been a lot of talk about having basically big solar farms where like far from populations, and just having like, rather than having power plants or coal plants or nuclear plants or whatever. I think nuclear is probably still a good idea, but having plants kind of distributed, but not necessarily just fitted onto homes. And so you have a distributed grid like you'd want to have in case of cloudy days or power outages or whatever. But you don't necessarily need to worry about individual houses being properly fit with solar panels.
Real-time follow-up?
Yeah.
Heliotropism.
That's the thing of following.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want heliotropic solar panels?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
No worries.
The other thing that this article mentions that I should mention too is that because Elon Musk owns these two companies, Tesla and SolarCity. SolarCity is the one that's building these solar panels. They're actually planning right now to merge those two companies. He, being the head of both, wants them to merge. And I don't know what is so funny about that, but I assume something is.
I don't know if he'll be able to do it. I mean, he's the head of both of them, so.
All in favor? Aye.
They have boards of directors, but it seems like he has made his pitch and it's probably going to happen. Apparently there's a vote on the acquisition happening on November 17th, and it's not just him, although he is apparently the biggest shareholder in both companies. It seems like there's no reason not to merge. He's not necessarily a majority shareholder in both companies. He's just the biggest shareholder.
What you're saying is he has some clout.
He has a lot of clout, and people tend to trust him because
also, he's Elon goddamn Musk.
He's got SpaceX, he's got Tesla, and he's got SolarCity, and they're all doing pretty positive things for society.
I wonder if he plays the Elon Musk card. Like he's like, guys, come on, guys.
I'm Elon Musk. Come on. No, yeah. So I'm imagining in his grand master plan thing, I can't remember what it's called. Mm-hmm. He's like, guys, I've decided that given recent events, I really need to update this. And so it's that, but like each has a sub bullet with take control of the board of X. Do this. Take control of the board of X. Do this.
So he's a supervillain, basically. That's what we've
I
decided.
mean, if he wanted to go for super villainy, like he's the perfect candidate for being a successful supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do to stop him? Like blot the sun out of the sky?
That would do it, to be honest. That's all you'd need to do.
I think that's been tried before. Didn't work out so well.
No. And so, Nick, why don't you take us home with the last story we have here and tell us what you plan to do with all that energy once you have collected it from your solar panels.
Well, this is more of a filler story.
Mm-hmm.
But they're, what is it? They're now doing photovoltaic electrolysis, and they're doing it at 30% efficiency. And I'm pausing for gas.
Is that
Mike actually yawned during that?
Is that
so? We're not
actually,
very excited. Sorry,
Nick. Is that all wavelengths, or is that a maximum efficiency at a specific wavelength? Do you know?
Oh no, I did not check that.
Okay. Because 30% efficiency is impressive no matter what. I think when we started the show, they were at like 15 to 20%, wasn't it?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
So average 48-hour STH efficiency of 30%, which is pretty great.
Solar to hydrogen is STH.
Oh, so it is. But yeah. So that's, I mean, if the whole battery thing doesn't work out and we need to start using fuel cells,
Mm-hmm.
having STH procedures in place will be, of enormous benefit.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and they talk about in this experiment adjusting the solar concentration, the incident solar concentration, to maximize efficiency, which makes sense, I guess. Just so you're not wasting any energy. I'm not sure how that would work necessarily, because what they're going for is 30%, right? Or they're going for maximum efficiency of this experiment. So you wouldn't necessarily get 30% efficiency out in the wild. You get 30% under ideal conditions.
Well, yeah,
when you
no,
have your maximum
you
input.
never get as good as you get in the lab.
No, but what I mean is this system works to the point that if you have the ideal amount of solar energy, you can get 30% of the energy put into splitting from that. But if you had more energy than that coming in, it wouldn't be able to convert all that. It wouldn't be able to keep up with that 30% figure.
Yeah.
And if it's less, then
Yeah.
presumably similar. Like,
Yeah.
you just can't do it as well. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are problems with hydrogen as a fuel in the past, but
Are there?
in terms of being able to do things like you can make, what is it, natural gas? You can make plastics with it.
Why would you make natural gas with it? You make hydrogen using natural gas normally.
Right. So I'm trying to remember what chemical process we learned about that took hydrogen and CO. Like it was like the syngas process.
Yes, and gas.
But what is that used to make? I can't remember anymore.
Methanol. Or
Okay.
like other things.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like chemical feedstocks, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So it wouldn't, I mean, there has been talk, I mean, for a long time, we've been hearing people talk about fuel cell fueled cars. Like BMW, I think, was talking about making a hydrogen fueled engine.
Yep.
I think the industry might not be as big as it would have been now that now that electric cars are getting kind of more popular, but it's definitely like having something that's a hybrid of hydrogen powered and battery powered would be pretty interesting.
Well, I mean, if battery technology took a significant leap, fuel cell technology would never have been able to keep up.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
It seems like people have kind of forgotten about hydrogen powered cars.
Well, I mean, the thing with batteries is that they operate at such high efficiency. downside is definitely that you have to lug around all those heavy batteries with you.
Yes.
But I mean, hydrogen fuel cells are just so lossy.
Mhm.
Just the electrolysis is tremendously lossful if that's what you're going for. The actual fuel cell is lossy, and converting hydrogen or storing hydrogen in such a way that you can actually take a significant amount with you is
Mhm.
also lossy.
Yeah.
So does the benefit come when you scale it up enough that you're generating a significant amount of energy for the amount of material you're using to generate? Like, I don't know if you guys know what I mean. Like, say the analogy would be a business where your profit margin is so small that it's not worth doing it if
Yeah.
you're only going to sell 100 units. But if you sell 1,000,000, then like airlines is similar, right? Like they're making 30 cents per passenger or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But because they're scaled up high enough that they can stay in business. Is it similar to fuel cells where instead of money it's energy, and it's worth it to implement the hydrogen fuel cell if you're going to generate enough energy from it?
Well, I mean, it only really works if you have a market for really pure hydrogen.
Yeah. I don't think they're.
But,
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
like currently, you would never get hydrogen from electrolysis. You
Right.
would convert methane. Just because methane is so cheap. You only actually need electrolyzed hydrogen if you need really high purity hydrogen.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, this is like future pie in the sky, like super long term when we're not pulling methane anymore.
Right.
Right.
So could you set up like a power plant that's run on fuel cells? Where it's like, so it's scaled up higher than a car would be, where you might not have a fuel cell in a car, but you'd have a power plant of fuel cells.
I think they do that, except it uses like big chunks of aluminum or something like that.
Hmm.
It's more like a battery than a fuel cell. But
Right.
Okay.
I don't think they would use this technology necessarily for vehicles anytime soon because like you said, the scale doesn't really make sense. But yeah, for power plants, I think, or for making hydrogen feedstocks, that's what it'd be more useful for.
Okay. This electrolysis that they're talking about.
This
Okay.
particular method.
Sure.
Yep.
That makes sense.
But it's cool stuff.
huzzah.
So if the Hindenburg is ever going to make a comeback, then
Well, it didn't use it as a fuel.
no, but it used hydrogen though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would need a lot of hydrogen.
If only
Well-
there was some way to turn that into helium, then we'd really have something. The Kurzgesatz did a video on fusion late this week. So I'm all on the nuclear fusion kick now again.
It's great because, like, yeah, if we could just convert hydrogen into helium, then that'd be the end of all our problems.
So we've made it through our stories. You guys want to talk at all about anything else or about Pokemon? The event ended. RIP event.
I'm excited for Christmas. I hope
For any potential event.
I hope I hope it's a Stardust event. That'd be great.
There's a Lapras event in Japan now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you guys hear that they were thinking about making that or that people were theorizing it might be a way to get rid of spoofers?
Oh, really? Oh no, I
People
didn't hear about that.
If GPS suddenly jumps a person to Japan and then jumps them back to North America, they'd be like, okay, delete.
I mean, solid idea.
Yeah. But apparently, like, I've been seeing screenshots and it's just like there's Laprases everywhere in this area where it's happening.
It's like the way Cubone was when
Yeah.
Halloween was here.
Yeah. I don't know, do you guys have any interest in, I forget where I posted it. I think I posted it in the Future Chat channel. The CEO of Niantic confirmed there's a big Easter egg that nobody's found yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it still Frodo on that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Everyone's talking about like how it might be Ditto because they updated, like there's a transform move that was updated but not for Ditto. It all seems very curious.
Can you imagine if they released Ditto, but like it appeared to be Mewtwo, and then everyone caught it, and it turned out to be Ditto.
I think
So-
people would be just as excited.
There's
No, no, they wouldn't.
the other hints that John Hankey's dropped about eggs. Eggs will always be found in their natural, what did you say, biome or habitat?
Biome.
Biome is probably the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you assume that Ditto would be hatched, and they've said that hatches will come from their biome, and they've said there's an Easter egg that no one's found yet, I have a feeling that it's that you can get Ditto from an egg, but you just don't know where to get that egg from. Like, it's not a regional in like a country sense,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a specific place that Ditto would live in,
Yeah.
and you'd have to get an egg from that area.
Huh.
But I
It's
don't-
possible, but I feel like it would have been found by now, unless there's someone unless it's a very rural stop that nobody
Yeah.
ever goes to.
So I don't know enough about Ditto's history to know where you'd find one.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm reminded I got my 7-day streak today for both
Oh yeah,
stops and Pokemon.
nice.
Me too. Congratulations, guys.
Felt
I
pretty
did.
good.
I didn't.
What? Did you miss a day?
I missed Saturday. No, Friday.
Oh, Mike. Mike.
Well, I don't have stops everywhere like
What
you guys
happened on
do.
Friday?
What? I was at
The
home.
The whole day? You didn't.
I don't know, guys. Just,
You weren't thinking. You weren't thinking about it.
It's
I
okay,
just-
Mike. It's just, I got a lot of Stardust today.
yeah. I saw it was like 3,000 bonus, I think.
I don't actually know because Go Plus did it, and it didn't tell me, and
Yeah.
it didn't actually update the sums until this morning.
I think it's a 3,000 bonus you get.
That sounds about right.
And a bunch of items. I got like 21 items, which actually seem like on the low end compared to what some people got.
See, I don't care about the items because I don't have any trouble getting.
I feel like my
items.
bag was full, so
I
didn't
cared
really
because
appreciate the
this whole
items.
weekend there's no stops near me, so I have to for the weekend I have to subsist on what I can get during the week, especially during this event week. Oh man, I'm down to like 180 items or something. Crazy.
But there were so many items from the Pokestops.
That's what I'm saying. I had a full bag on Thursday afternoon, but then the 3-day weekend of catching things because, as I mentioned,
Oh, because you're a federal employee.
yeah,
What? I got Friday off too.
You don't usually get it in Ontario.
businesses
Oh.
can choose.
Yeah, they can, and they often choose not to
There-
because.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was reading there is an Ontario.
Should I give my workers a holiday?
There's
No.
a bylaw,
No, I
at least
won't.
in Ottawa, where you have to give employees until 12:30 or something. For like private businesses, but
Well, I could see that in Ottawa because they have the national ceremony and basically need to shut down downtown.
schools still running everything. Like
It's like the Stampede Parade here.
anything else about Pokemon? Anything else about anything? The world over. Can we talk politics yet?
No, we'll save that for an episode of East Meets West.
Nick, you specifically said I'm busy until January.
It is the busy season at work.
Yeah.
I work every day this weekend,
Oh wow,
and then most of next week too.
that's crazy.
I hear Wednesday is a good time to come see you.
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Oh. I heard
Oh wait,
Wednesday.
at work. Yes. Yep, we're having our 1-day sale
Wow.
on suits.
I thought you weren't supposed to talk about it.
I'm not supposed to talk about the price, but as of last Wednesday, I'm allowed to discuss what day it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just tell me when to stop. 100, 110, 120.
Dollars or
We should
percent
have
off.
stopped a long time ago because the speed limits here only ever go up to 110.
I feel like this has to continue. This is our shortest show ever, and it's all because we can't talk about the one thing we want to talk about.
We or
We
you?
want to talk about?
I want to talk about. All right.
Okay.
Well,
So, wait. Today I finish at like 2:45. I'm not sure if we're doing anything. I assume Rob's doing something because he's always doing something on the weekend.
maybe not.
Okay. We'll
We'll
talk.
talk about it. All right. Well, in that case, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Future Chat. As always, you can head to unwindmedia.com/futurechat for past episodes and more. Talk to you guys next week.
Ciao.
Toodaloo.